How does a person become a millionaire? The hardest part of making millions of dollars and being successful in business is becoming the person who is able to do the thing. That's the hardest part. They have the one that it should be enough. For anyone, that the first time they flip the coin of work that it lands on heads. I would not wish that for anybody.
Interesting.
Because if I don't stay in a place where the work is not working for me, but it's working on me long enough, I might have that success, but it's gonna more than likely be a flash in the pan success. Part of the reason I believe that God ordained that we go from just enough to not enough, and then finally to more than enough, is because if we went straight from just enough to more than enough without going through not enough, we wouldn't be strong enough to stay in more than enough when we get there. So we have to be yielded enough to how life works, to the principles of life, to truth, to let the work on us until the work that it's doing on us is complete. So now I'm mature enough. That's why and I'm sure you've probably seen this. You might interview some young millionaires who are in their 20s and they've made millions of dollars and they're still miserable and frustrated. Why? Because they worked on something that worked for them, but it didn't work on them long enough for them to learn that just making a lot of money by itself does not bring fulfillment. They find a very, very large pool of people with a very, very, very painful problem, deep enough pockets to be able to pay to solve that problem, and then they obsess over solving that problem for those people, and then they obsess over figuring out the best possible way to communicate clearly, I have the best solution for this problem. That's the whole thing. Because if you think about it, if you're a golfer and you're a 15 handicap, and somebody figures out how to go from 15, how to go from a 15 handicap down to a 4 handicap, and it's only going to take you 30 days. If you have that solution, because we know golfers have deep pockets, even the broke golfers have deep pockets if they play golf. I mean, a box of Pro V1s costs $60, right? That's for 12 golf balls. So they have deep pockets to some degree. So if you solve that problem, if I'm willing to pay $60 for a box of golf balls that I'm gonna hit into the woods, I'd be willing to pay $600 to learn how not to hit the $60 worth of golf balls into the woods. Right? So if I can find a big pool of people with a painful problem and deep enough pockets to pay to solve that problem, and I can find an elegant, efficient, effective solution for that problem, but I have to be able to tell them in a way that causes them to believe it, it would be very, very hard for me not to get rich as an entrepreneur. One of the most, you'll think I was a water faucet. As a business, I teach entrepreneurs of all shapes and, we've got doctors, we've got attorneys, we've got authors, we've got speakers, we've got coaches, we have inventors, we have all kinds of entrepreneurs. I teach entrepreneurs how to scale their business exponentially from a perspective that's rooted in biblical principles. That's what I do. I believe in God, and I believe that God made everything. And I believe he understands how everything works. And I have been practically applying biblical principles to my experience of life since I was a teenager. At first, I started doing it just to see if it would do what it said it was going to do. And it started doing that. And I was like, well, I'm just going to trust this because I know it works. And so the reason that I emphasize rooted in biblical principles in my business teaching is because I don't want the people that I teach to think I'm the reason they're successful, number one, or that I am essential to their success, number two, because I'm not. Because principles don't care who you are, they just don't discriminate. They don't care if you're a man or a woman, boy or girl, they don't care if you're black or white or Asian or Hispanic. Principles just don't care. All principles always work for everybody. I love that word you just used, work. People say, oh, but I tried that, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work. No. All work works. If it feels like it's not working, it's working. What do you mean, Myron? How can it be working if it feels like it's not working? See, because all work works. Work is a two-sided coin. If you flip the coin of work and it lands on tails, it is working on you. If you flip it and it lands on heads, it's working for you. Here's the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to face. You have to allow the work to work on you long enough for you to become the person for whom it can work. So all work works. And if I'm looking around, I've been working on this thing for 10 years, but it's not doing what I thought it should do, well, then it's working on me by showing me this is not the approach, right? You take an action and then you measure the feedback. Then you monitor that feedback a little while, and then you manage yourself and your emotions, and then you make another approach, you make an adjustment. And then you go back and take another action. And then you measure that feedback, and you stay in that process. And as much as you keep changing the approach and making adjustments, all of that willingness to adapt is turning you into a totally different person than you were when you found the first solution that wasn't really a solution, it just looked like one. It was fool's gold.